Oh, it's not.
This is a regular meeting of the Eastland City Commission. It is November 20th. I've asked JJ to lead us in the prayer and for Shirley to lead us in the pledge. JJ?
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we just come before you and give you all the thanks and the glory. Lord, we thank you for that we live in a country this great and we can come and worship your name out in the open. Lord, I just pray for our meeting tonight. Give us guidance and wisdom to do the right things. Lord, we also pray for rain as we need it to quench our lands. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. If you haven't silenced your phone, but ask you to do that at this time. Public comment. We have a public comment from Terry Simmons. He's able to get off work and be here. Terry, floor is yours, sir.
I'm just wanting to make sure everyone received their invitation to the event at the museum on the 29th, and we'd really like to see everyone there. I wanted to kind of give you a little background so you kind of know what was going on. We applied in July for a grant through the Lower Colorado River Association, and it is to go along with the money that Jim and Leslie Keffer gave us last year towards air conditioning at the museum. The Keffers have given us $15,000, and our grant that we're getting is $25,000. So the way the program we have worked out is it's going to replace the air conditioning in the main museum and all the office spaces on the 3rd floor. So on the 29th, the Lower Colorado River Association people will be here to make the big check presentation. We will serve lunch. We're going to have stuffed baked potatoes. There'll be pulled pork and pulled chicken. And for Commissioner Stewart and Commissioner Rothsender, we will have a gluten-free dessert for you. So,
Don't worry about the dessert. I'm fattening up.
Do we need to RSVP or anything? I got the invitation.
If you don't mind, either to me or to the museum phone number, either one, it's on the invitation.
Is it what time?
It's 11:30. So,
29.
29.
Becky and I'll be there.
All right, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Terry. That's good work. Need to approve the minutes of the October 16th meeting. You've got a copy of those in front of you.
I move we approve the minutes of the October 16th. I'll second.
Got a motion from Richard and a second from James to approve the October 16th meeting. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I will vote on that as well and approve.
Abstain.
And Shirley abstained, so I did vote on that. Okay. Financial report.
Yeah, you have your sales tax. Leslie, she's in the middle of something right now. She's going to finish something before she leaves.
Still up. Still good. That's great. Why I didn't get that right.
No problem.
Well, my email's also messed up. I don't know what happened, but anyway, it's working. That's good. Anybody have any questions about the financial report? Sales tax is great.
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 6, the Board of City Commissioners may discuss and take action on the following agenda items. Item number 1, discussion and consideration to approve hiring Tom Bailey as Eastland Economic Development Incorporated Executive Director.
Yes, Commission. Ryder Warren has resigned effective January 1st, and the EEDI board met last week and recommended Tom Bailey to fill that role. Mr. Bailey's here if y'all have any questions for him.
Why'd you leave?
What did you say?
Why'd you leave?
That's a fair question. I had a personal business opportunity that
I know.
I needed to attend to, and it's done, and I'm anxious to be back. So,
Well, we're glad to have you back.
thank
Yes,
you.
we are.
Appreciate
Thank
it
you,
very
sir.
much.
I move we
I
approve.
think we are. Just let us vote on that. I think we
I
are.
move we approve the hiring of Tom Bailey as our executive director of EEDI.
I'll second that.
Got a motion from Richard, a second from Shirley to approve Tom Bailey as the Executive Director of Economic Development. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Tom Bailey, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, will it go into effect when Ryder leaves?
Yes, it's effective January the 1st, and between now and the 1st, if I'm needed on a daily basis, I come over, you know, Ryder and I'll be doing things together. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
Okay. Number 2, discussion and consideration to approve the 2023 contract with Eastland County for the ambulance service.
Yes, Commissioners, this is just our 2023 contract for the ambulance service. As you will know, they came to us and asked for a 52% increase, and by the time it all shook out, we agreed on a 35% increase at $84,500 for the year.
Why are we different from Cisco?
The city of Cisco, they were at 35%, but since they house the ambulance in one of their buildings and give them utilities, they decided that they were going to deduct that off of their 35%. They originally were going to pay the same amount as us, but when they went to do their numbers, they decided for the first time to make that part of their deal.
How will that difference be made up? It's
In the contract, it says if there are losses, that each city is liable for part of the losses.
Second question.
Yes, sir.
The meeting shall be right here. Second, I'm on the next page over. I guess it's number 5. Is that 4? Is there not a 5 in there?
Meeting shall, yes, sir.
Where's 5? I got a 6 and I got a 4. I don't see a 5. Anyway, the next page over, 2/3 of the way down, says this meeting shall be attended by designated representatives of each party as soon as reasonably possible after the hospital has contributed the sum up to $84,500.
Yes, sir.
How exactly is that game happening?
That is a meeting that we have at the hospital, and from the way I interpret that is once we hit that 84.5 and we are still projecting a negative outcome, that we will have a meeting and come to a decision on how those losses are recouped.
Designated representatives.
That is me. Myself, county judge, city of Cisco, and the hospital administrator plus president of the board.
Okay.
That's usually who attends those meetings.
You'll let us know when that takes place,
Yes,
if
sir.
that has to take place?
Yes, sir. I sure will.
Yeah, I might like to attend that. What else? Do they have any other questions?
But I like your questions.
Hmm.
It's a little hard to swallow, but that's all right. I move that we approve the contract for the ambulance service for the Eastland County.
Got a motion from Richard,
I'll second.
a second from James to approve the Eastern County for the ambulance service. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. That wasn't very enthusiastic, was it?
I wouldn't have made the motion, but I use it.
We could have been here a while, too. Number 3, discussion and consideration to approve the second reading of ordinance 23-898, an ordinance of the city of Eastland, Texas, amending chapter 9, nuisance, article 3, garbage, weeds, and junk and unsanitary conditions, section 9-5, 25, notice of the city of Eastland Code of Ordinances, clarifying that notice of the violations may issue for any violation of Article 3, correcting inconsistent section references, providing repealer and severability clauses, and establishing an effective date.
Yes, if you'll remember, we just went back into our code, and Tony can help me out with those, and in our chapter 9 of our ordinance, and we cleaned up some stuff and made some stuff more clear on how to take certain steps when it came to handling this.
Yeah, the notification is something that was supposed to have been done already, but the way that our ordinance was written, it was found out that it was only notification for dead animal carcasses, right?
Yeah.
So in order to go with what Texas Administrative Code calls for, and notification for all instances or violations of nuisances, we changed the wording so it is codified in our code correctly.
Okay,
I make a motion that we approve the second reading of ordinance number 23-898.
Second.
got a motion from James and a second from Richard to approve Article 23-898 on the second reading. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 4, discussion and consideration to obtain cemetery records management software.
Yes, this is something that Roman's worked on for the past, how long? 6 months, Roman? Several months trying to, we need to do something with our cemetery software to make it more user-friendly, and, everything's going online to the cloud. She's found a program that she likes and has talked to other communities that use it, and it's pretty neat, but I'm going to let her, she has all the details of it.
Commissioners, y'all know I took over for Dean when he left, and it has been interesting to learn all about the cemetery. Right now, our database consists of 7,893 records. That's a lot of names, a lot of people. I'm not saying those are all buried in our cemetery, but the majority of them are, and they're owners or they're the people that are occupying the spaces. What I would like to do is web cemeteries, okay? They have a program that's in the cloud. All of the storage is in the cloud. It will input all of our data and put it into a user-friendly database. Myself and whoever else is helping me can access this software from anywhere, from our smartphones, from our home, anywhere. I don't have to be at the office to access it and say, okay, John Smith is going to be buried in space, F6, whatever it is. I don't have to be here. I don't have to look on 3 different maps to see if anyone is actually in that grave. This program has, it's access for everyone, access to the public. The public can go on here. They can either go on through the website or they can download an app to their cell phone. Check this out. So this is in Raleigh, North Carolina. I am going to...
Is that the one you sent me?
Yes, sir. I believe so. Enter a name. So we're going to enter... Does that say John Smith?
I know it's called that.
No, it didn't say it. Okay. So it lists all the John Smiths that are buried there. Okay. Hopefully you know exactly which John Smith you're looking for. You see where it says view and submit memories? It has a place on here where the public can go and upload a memory of him. They can upload pictures. They can upload videos. We have final approval of that. As the interment records, anything that is linked to the person that's going to be buried. Okay? What I think, let's see, this is the life of John Presley Smith. What I think is really neat, you see where it says get directions? Check this out. So this right here is the very opening of the cemetery. And so that's around 608 Oakwood, Raleigh, North Carolina. That's where I put my starting point, and that takes you directly to his grave. So whenever I'm standing at the entrance of our cemetery, I can put in, you know, where he's buried. Well, I'm up on my phone and get directions, and it's going to take me straight down Leon Street to Pecos, and I'm going to make a right, and it's going to be right down there. I mean, I just think that's really neat. You know, because how many people, I'm telling you, so I went to the Roscoe Cemetery a while back and was looking for somebody. It took me forever to find this person walking up and down the roads, and I finally found them. But man, if we had something like this, how cool would that be? Anyway, I'll show you one more thing. Remember my journey. This fella here is the grandfather of the CEO of Webb Cemeteries. Okay? He created, the grandson created this as a tribute to his grandfather. And he went in and he wrote all of this. He uploaded pictures. I mean...
So it's kind of like creating a Facebook page for the grave.
Yeah.
In a way.
In a way. But people can go on it, you know, they can look and see. I just think it's a great thing. Let's see.
Would you have something like if somebody from out of town came in to go visit a grave at our cemetery, when they first got there, if they didn't have any way of knowing that we had this, would there be something at the entrance showing?
Sure. So, you know, we have our directory, our little stand that has our directory in it. I will definitely be putting something on there that has our website listed, and they can
pull it up.
They can pull it up. And Webb Cemeteries, they will be the one that create the website. You know, we'll tell them what we want and everything, but they will be the one that creates the website. And I mean, look at this. They've got newspaper articles, you know, just neat stuff.
One of the other things about it is we can do things that's not even really connected to the cemetery. We can do historical facts about Eastland, and we can do photographs of the downtown area.
But you can link it all on here.
It can all be on here. So it can be almost like a historic tour of Eastland and our cemetery.
Yeah.
If you go to our website, City of Eastland, there would be a link on there to go to this.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I'm sure we could probably create a QR code where they just
I'm
pull out
sure.
their phone
Yes.
and it takes them straight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a great resource for the funeral home.
So,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
That-
yeah.
And then just the history of Eastland, you know, with Doc Sherlock and others that are here, it'd be a really good way for people to
You
get to know Eastland as well.
You think about Commissioner Funderburg. Think of what we could put on there about him. You know, his years of service. I mean, just the memories that we could put on there of him. I mean, I just think it'd be great. So, bottom line, you're asking, how?
I'm gonna ask one more question.
What's that?
And the cemetery plots that are not sold at this point and what's open in the cemetery, people can access.
Actually, no, the people cannot access what's empty. That's only for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it would help.
But it will be on.
Yeah.
For save
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
From
Oh,
having
yeah.
to go through all the catalogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's color coded.
Yeah.
It's color coded. So you go and you have one that's occupied, you have one that's reserved, you know, it's not occupied, you have one that's empty. It's all color coded, you know.
So the raw material that would go on there, that this company would set up,
Comes
is
from our
only
database.
what we have right now.
That's correct.
The
Comes from our
birth date,
database.
the name, the death date, that sort of thing. So if it came to all of this other information, it would come from the families, or
It would come from the families, it would come from us, it would come from,
Museum or something.
would the
whoever.
word be put out for people
Oh,
to?
yeah.
Put the
Oh, yeah.
obituary in.
absolutely.
They die, put the obituary in.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's even now, see, when I get, so I do the interment permits, and if I can, I'll get the obituary and attach it to the interment permits, and I upload that into our server. So that we would be uploading it onto this website at that point.
Okay,
So if you want the bottom line, or you want JJ to tell you that?
we're getting there. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, on the upload, how do they have access?
They will provide a link.
You will provide a link?
They will provide a link for me to upload.
No, I'm talking about John Q. Public. I want to go in and put my parents, something about my parents in there.
It would be on that person's file.
Okay,
when you pull them up.
I'll show you right
Okay,
here.
so anybody,
See where it says view and submit memories?
okay, so anybody can do that. What gives,
But
It has to go through me first.
okay, that's what I'm
Yeah,
getting to.
it'll
You
come to
have
me
to
first.
give them the access. Anybody can access it, but to be able to do that, you have to give them permission.
They're basically requesting
Well-
from her the
Okay.
ability to post that. She's the final gate.
So that's how we control it.
They'll
That's the gatekeeper.
upload it, and then she'll review it, and all she's got to do is approve it.
Okay, but I'm first step is they've got to get access to do that.
Well, they have it right there.
Okay, you're telling me anybody can access it and do it?
Yes.
They can, but when they put it on there, it won't immediately go on there. It'll come to me first. And then when I approve
So
it, then
if I went to this website right now to John Presley Smith,
Yep.
I could put comments in there about him.
you
You
could,
can-
it wouldn't get up, it
I
wouldn't be
understand.
uploaded.
Okay, it doesn't go anywhere because now what's going to be the vehicle to notify you that they've got to do that?
I would
That's it.
imagine it'd be an email.
Something
She
will
will
happen.
get a notification.
Yeah, I'll get a notification
And
saying,
Some type of notification.
How do you know what's true and what's not true?
well, I won't be able to determine that. I'll
Make
be
sure
able
it's
to
clean.
I guess.
I think she's
yeah,
got to be the gate for as far as for decency, so nobody's going up there going,
True.
"He's sorry, he robbed me for money."
And that's a one-time access, I'm assuming.
Well,
Anytime they want. Well, you give me access today, and I go back on tomorrow, put something there, you don't ever see it.
No.
So every
They
time,
have access to upload items. She chooses what makes it through the gate and what gets canned.
so
It doesn't matter
anytime
how-
anybody does anything, it's going to come to you.
Right.
Yes. Everybody has access. She gives approval for what is physically.
Is there
posted.
any limit to how much information they can put in there about somebody?
I have no idea.
No.
Okay.
I don't know the
Is the
answer.
cloud storage for this thing
It
unlimited?
is unlimited. I talked to them about that.
Okay.
He said, we've got plenty.
It's
Plenty.
not, having plenty is not good enough.
That's what he told
'Cause
me.
I
He
can
said-
remember
he said
when,
it's
I
unlimited.
remember when 100 megabytes was good.
yeah, I remember.
He sent you an email.
I can remember an 8-inch disc.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But yes, he did say it was
Yeah.
unlimited.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
it's-
Cloud space.
Okay, but that,
Not me.
I'm assuming there will probably be limits to what somebody can put on an individual.
I don't know. I
Okay,
didn't
we'll find
ask
out, but there is going to be some type of control from you.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Now, back to your question about cost and how are you paying for it?
Yeah, go ahead with the call.
Cost $16,474 is the initial cost. $199 a month for the access and the storage
And to,
and the training and the free, whatever you call it, support.
Is there a contract with this, or
Yes,
is it,
sir.
how long's the contract?
3 years.
3 years. So in 3 years, the $199 a month will be renegotiated?
I don't think so. I read that. I didn't see that in there.
But what's the contract giving me for 3 years?
upkeep,
Yeah, upkeep.
upkeep, and
So
us
it would
giving
be
us the
hosting,
bill.
it would be upkeep, it would be the file transfer, that type of stuff.
But isn't that what the $200 a month is paying for?
Yes.
So that would be renegotiated in 3 years. Not that it's going to go up, could go down, but that's what's in the contract. So the $16,474 is a one-time cost.
Yes, sir.
One-time cost that when we were researching these companies and that we found out that $16,474 included them to upload,
Import the
to
data.
import all the data, because
Okay.
some of the other ones were going to charge us another $4,000 to do this.
Yeah, I had another company that I really liked a little bit better than Web Cemeteries, but when she told me that it was going to be $4,000 to import our data, I'm like,
No.
no.
Okay.
I mean,
So this will do what we need done.
as far as I can see it.
And more.
Yeah, and to answer your question on how we're going to pay for this is There was a gentleman that set up a non-revocable trust years ago that lived in Eastland he was born in 23 and passed away in 20. And every year we receive a check out of this trust that is designated in this trust that it goes towards the cemetery. And in that account we have the money to pay for this plus the upkeep.
So technically it's free to us.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
nice.
Is there gonna be
Okay.
another contract other than this proposal? I mean, is there gonna be an actual?
There'll be an actual contract.
Well, that'll be stipulated in. Are we approving for us to move forward? And then when the contract gets here, y'all will take care of approving that?
Yes, sir.
We're giving y'all approval to
Yes,
sign that contract.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? That's what's in that account?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm
What do we
moving
get,
that
Mark?
We don't come to every year.
what do you want to do? Is enter into contract?
Pardon me?
What do you want, enter into contract?
Give them approval to enter into the contract.
I move that we give them approval to enter into contract with the cemetery records management software.
For the amount of
For the amount of $16,474.
Yes.
And $199 a month.
That's right.
I'll second that.
We got a motion from Richard and a second from Shirley to enter into a contract for approval for the city to enter a contract with cemetery records management software. The initial cost is $16,474, and then the ongoing cost is $199 a month, and that's for 3 years. And assume it'll be renegotiated at the end of 3 years. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
Good job.
you very much.
Now, when is this gonna take place now? Start next year?
Yes, sir. It'll take a while to get it all done. I mean, we're talking several months.
But when is it gonna start?
Oh, I would think January.
Okay. Y'all are gonna start the ball rolling now?
yes.
Yes, sir. I'll contact him tomorrow.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. It was gonna be fun to see that. And I've still got that email to look at that. I want to look at that and see, play with it.
Yeah.
Item number 5, discussion and consideration to update the drought contingency plan.
Yes, as we all know that our water source is getting lower and lower by the day. Right now we're at about 9.5, 10 feet below full.
1,365.16 today.
1365, yes, sir. And looking at that, stage 2, which we're at, is a serious water shortage. During this time period, August 25th, I believe, is when we enacted stage 2. We've been tracking our most heavily used water customers, which on the back page of the drought contingency plan, it shows you for September and October of our top 100 water users, and some are doing it correctly and some are doing it incorrectly. And since then, we've taken matters in to help correct some of our citizens and what they're doing wrong and stuff like that. And for our own matter, we have found some water leaks and meters that aren't working. But all that is said is that we need to make our citizens aware of where we're at and what they're supposed to be doing right now. Because when we get to stage 3, it's a whole different animal when it comes to the fines and the penalties on what we do. Like right now, if you'll look on page, I believe it's page 4, stage 2, odd addresses Sunday and Thursday, even addresses Saturday and Wednesday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., 7 p. and 7 and 9 is when you're supposed to be watering. Honestly, we would love for everybody to be within those hours, but the way we're looking at it is if you're watering 4 hours a day on your days, we're calling it good. But with that being said, and no rain in sight, we need to start looking ahead and start educating our people on stage 3. And when we get there, there's a whole different gamut that we need to look at. And the change that I made to the drought contingency plan is on page 13. There is a surcharge for residents that use more than a certain amount of water. And that surcharge is $10 per thousand for between 2,000 and 8,000 gallons. And then it jumps to $20 for anything over 8,000. Which I changed a surcharge of $11 and $21 for customers outside the city limits. They pay a little bit extra anyways, and it was noticed that the citizens within inside the city limits were eating a little bit more of that cost, and just to make it equal to our outside city customers and to our inside city customers. Any questions on that so far?
So is that, excuse me, is that being done right now?
No, this is when we get to stage
The
3.
surcharge? Oh, that's.
No, and what we're doing with
That's on
stage
stage
2
3.
violators, which are on the back, which this month we really only had to take 8 that I sent letters to last week about things they need. And I did have a call this morning about my letter to them. Is right now we sent them a violation notice. We give them time to correct it. Then we issue them a citation. And we haven't issued any citations yet. Excuse me. So that's just kind of where we're at right
Was
now.
your call this morning hospital or just?
No. This lady was actually very nice, and she doesn't understand where all her water is going. She said that about 3 months ago, her water bill just went up. And we can see in our system, which for everybody that doesn't know and whoever's watching, every hour, our meters relay a message to here to City Hall, and we can pull up each individual meter and see how many gallons of water you're using per hour. And that's how we can tell if you're watering within your hours, if you have a leak or something like that. So we think this lady may possibly have a leak, even though she said she had a plumber out there. So that way, this morning,
Still leaking?
yes, but she said she doesn't have one. So I sent our people over there because we're here to help. We don't want to see these people get in trouble. I want them to check the meters on this individual and just help our customer in any way they could to maybe identify if there's a leak going to the house or something like that. Which none was found, and I will call her back in the morning and we'll talk about it again. But any questions so far?
Is there a water loss report calculated
Yes.
every
Yes.
month on
Yes.
what is what's going to the customers versus what we're actually being billed for?
Yeah, and our water loss is about 13%, which is for a city with our infrastructure and stuff is actually pretty good. One thing that we've kind of realized when it comes to our water loss is we have to calculate how much we're holding in ground storage at that time, because our master meter is on the I guess it'd be the east side of the ground storage tank, and that's where we start. That's what we get billed for. It goes into our ground storage tank, and we're holding there. So, and then when it comes out, it goes to the customers.
You were still city secretary last time you saw me.
Oh, well.
Probably 10 years before you retired. In fact, if I remember correctly, when we put in the automatic meter, maybe the last time we ever saw a report.
Yeah, I believe that's right. And they were going to make us money, ha.
Okay, I'm letting you finish before I started on my question.
go.
So you go ahead. Let's keep it on track so everybody's.
And then y'all want to talk about stage 2 or stage 3 right off, because stage 2 it's pretty simple. I mean, we have to monitor what's going in, and now that we do have these people flagged, we're keeping an eye on them to make sure that they correct the steps that they need to avoid a citation. But stage 3 is where it really pops up.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted this on here, besides we all need to be aware, if we go to stage 3 and all general purposes, we're headed there, unless we get some rain. It's people's water bills are going to go crazy, and you're going to get phone calls. And we all need to understand this plan, so keep it handy so you can help answer questions, because there's going to be some people that are going to be pretty hostile. One of the things that JJ and I have had numerous discussions about this thing, and Eastland years ago, and I don't know if since I've been on the commission, I don't remember, I think I was, Richard and I both were, the standard watering in Eastland per request of the city is we water 3 days a week, depending on your address. What I want the city to do, and JJ, we've had this discussion, but we've got people that we look at their water bill and what they're reading that list they're going through, and you go back there and look at that, people are watering every day, so on and so forth, and that's what we've got to be proactive to educate people when it happens. Even when we go back to normal watering, if somebody's watering every day, they need to get a phone call. They need to get a visit. They need to get something to say you're not allowed to do that. That's just a general rule in Eastland. If you can't get your water watered, I've even called some of our customers on here because we know who they are. I've called because I know the people. You've got people that somebody else takes care of their water, for instance. They don't have a clue how to set a meter. Older couple, they've got a sprinkler system. Just it comes on the water and it goes off, and they don't know when all that's happening. So this isn't to be punitive. This isn't to be hard on anybody. But we've got to take our water conservation extremely serious. This is getting, because I've looked ahead and we've had rain and we've been blessed with that, but we hadn't had runoff in a long time. So that's what all this is about. Let me go back and then I'll let you wrap up. Let's go back and get some questions here that I want to ask. I just things that I saw. One of them, I'm on page 5, right in the middle. It's a commercial and industrial entity that have used over 1 million gallons of water annually. Do we have that?
Yes. EBA.
I was wondering if it was one. Okay.
EBA, and I'd have to go back and look. We wholesale to Carbon, and we used to do staff, but now Carbon has taken over the part of staff that we used to supply, and Westbound a little bit. Carbon will fluctuate. Some years they're over 1 million, some years they're not.
Say 3 years,
Consecutive.
3 consecutive years.
But we want to make sure that they're following our deal. But EBA's the big one. They use a tremendous amount of water, and they're a very big part of this community. So.
Okay. Over on the next page, page 6, right into section X, 4th line down, all exterior uses of water by these entities, such as landscape or foundation watering, fall under the appropriate water use restrictions contained in the plan. Is that not something about that say the same as residential?
Yes, I think that's what it implies, that they will follow the same residential.
We state that here.
Yes.
Under commercial. Shouldn't we state the same thing there under this section?
We can.
But, well, look at that and see if you think we need it. But I mean, because instead of just being generic and talk about other things contained in this plan, I got to read the whole plan again.
Yes, sir.
See what the thing means. It'll say under residential use, go to residential use. That's what it says. Okay, thank you. That just, to me, cleaned it up. Down at the bottom of page 6, the authorized official for the city of Eastland or designee. I think we should be clear the authorized official is the city manager.
Okay.
And if you're not here or we're between city manager, it can be the designee, but I think that ought to be the city manager.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Just in case you want to pass the buck, and say, no, we're not doing that with you, buddy. Notify sub-recipients via top of page 7. Is sub-recipients the staff and those people?
Wholesale customers.
People we sell, wholesale customers. Over on 8, page 8, under normal operations, under C, customers and the city will be expected to promptly repair controllable leaks within a reasonable period after the leak has been alerted to the existence of such leak. Failure to promptly make such a repair will put a customer's account in the non-essential water use category, automatically placing it in jeopardy of immediate termination. What is I don't like wording and things when I say one that's reasonably expected. What's reasonable? I think reasonable is a week. You think it's a day. I'm being silly. I don't.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I think that really comes on a case by case basis. You know, we expect when we have water leaks, you know, our customers to get them fixed in a very timely manner. You know, we don't want them to waste water in any shape or form. You know, some of these leaks are basically like little pinholes or toilets running through. But if they have a main line busted, the supply line that goes to the house, you know, I expect that to get fixed
pretty quick.
very, very promptly.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just a case by case basis on that.
Okay. And that would be your
Yes, sir.
Out the very next paragraph right there. This is where to me the meat comes into. We need to be monitoring this from day one, all the time. Additionally, during the normal operation mode, all customers, regardless of classification, will be required to perform all outside watering on odd and even days, depending on the last number of the address. That's where we don't have to be in phase 1. That's the standard operation, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, if you'll go back to page 4, I mean, that's what it says on normal operations. It says it's on a 3-day schedule. It basically mirrors stage 1.
Yeah. But it says out here required.
Yes, sir.
Over there, it tells you what it is. This says they're required.
Yes, sir. They
Okay.
are.
All right. I don't know. I'll just say this publicly, even though we use the 7 a.m. and then 7 to 9 a.m. and p.m. One of the things JJ and I have talked about, what that really says is you get 4 hours a day to water. I think the 7 to 9 was put in there so we can technically monitor what somebody's doing. Because if I've got to water 7 to 9 is not the best time in the world to water your yard.
Right.
That's generally a time when the sun's going to burn it up in the heat of the summer.
And if you're watering your yard, everybody's watering at once, you don't have pressure.
So that's that. I just want to make a note. Mitigation matter. Lake, the next one down. Lake Eastland water may be released to augment the Lake Leon water supply under the following conditions.
No, we do not have a mechanism to release water out of Lake Eastland.
You just let water go out as it goes down the creek, and it's not going to get to the lake. Right.
We have no mechanism to let water out.
Thank you.
It has to run over the spillway before it makes
Yeah.
it there.
Well,
No gates.
requirements for termination. The next paragraph, stage 1 of the plan, yada yada. Says rescind by the city's authorized officer or his or her designee.
Which is me.
Okay. I'm almost through.
You're fine.
In a what section am I in here?
Stage 2.
Well, I'm just reading. I'm on page 11. Appropriate line flushing. Do we do? And I know we have to do line flushing, but in a drought, phase 2, phase 3,
Still have to do it to keep our chlorine level at a safe level, because if we don't, then we start running into TCQ violations and there are punitive damages
I just
to
wonder
that.
what the.
Yes,
We
we're
don't-
trying
we
to do
don't
it
control
as minimally as possible.
Okay, one more thing. Page 14. I'll have to go after that. How does this apply? And this, you and I talked about this the other day, and I don't know. Under A, B, C, and D,
We have
3 inhabitants, 6,000.
we have talked about that internally.
Okay.
Our recommendation is we strike that out, and we, as a commission, will come up with a number that these surcharges will come into, because honestly, we have no way of knowing how many inhabitants are in a home with some of these people. I mean, it'd be very easy for somebody to come up here and go, I have 6 people living in my house.
Well, what, have you scratched out that whole thing?
Yeah, I would. My suggestion is we scratch out that whole deal and don't have up to inhabitants, and we come up with a number that the surcharges will then.
Okay. Well, my question is, how does this apply? When does this kick in? Because I'm not sure I agree with y'all's assessment.
Because when does it kick in? It kicks in where these surcharges, as the way I interpret this, was if there are 3 people in your house, you would pay your normal bill up to 2,000 gallons, and then you have an overage. Everybody does. Anything over 2,000 gallons, I believe, is $7.43 per thousand. Then once you went over 6,000 gallons for 3 people, that's when you would hit the $10 surcharge. So from 2 to 6 would be at a rate of $7.43. I believe that's the right rate. And then once you got over 6,000 gallons, that's when the $10 surcharge for everything over 10,000.
Is that per thousand?
Per thousand.
Per additional thousand?
Per additional 1,000.
That's at 10,000 gallons.
Mm-hmm.
That's per 10,000 or 6,000, you're saying?
No, it's per thousand.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the surcharge starts at 10.
No,
at
starts at
6.
6.
What did
we'll
you
start at 6. See, that's where
The $10 surcharge would start at 6,000.
if you have 3 people in your home.
That's gonna be hard to.
Yeah, why don't we just make that a standard? That's my question.
That's why.
Can you
Because we have no way. I mean,
average the usage in households for the citizens of Eastland? Can you come up with an average that would determine
yes.
how many thousand maybe you should apply?
You have one person living in your home and he has 10.
I know, but if you average the whole city, would you come near coming up with a number that would be
That's it.
Yeah, but you're not gonna wanna pay for him.
that would be fair
Yeah.
rather than a number for saying you've got so many people in your household and you don't charge them.
Okay, this is under
you
stage
don't
3.
know how many people
Yes,
are
but
in
it
your
also
household.
goes into stage 4. We have the same.
I know stage 4. The
Yes.
whole, I mean, it just gets more severe, and that's fine. My problem is, and Shirley, I'm assuming you live by yourself. I really don't know your personal situation.
Yeah, I do. I'm start to say unfortunately, but not really.
You wanna put your phone number out over here, Shirley?
No, that's okay.
No, my frustration and concern is how we do this, because you're sitting here by yourself and probably don't use a whole lot of water, and you've got a family over here. It's got 3 kids, mother, dad, and 3 kids, and they're using 4 times the water you are. But you're going to be, if we do what you're saying, we penalize at the same rate. I think we've got to have some kind of a plan. Can this system, is it smart enough? And I know this is a challenge. Is it smart enough to say your average under normal circumstances has been this, and now you're going to be penalized at this rate? Is there a way to take averages out of this thing?
And what I'm saying though is, if you've got one person living in a household and I'm allowed 2,000 gallons, and all of a sudden I use more than that, let's say I have somebody come, I have grandkids there for a couple of weeks or whatever, and all of a sudden my usage goes up, you're going to penalize me sooner than you're going to penalize the guy next door with 4 people living in his house. And I don't think that's fair.
Well, you just need to tell people you're going to come to their house and we're in water shortage.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
No, I do. That's why we're here. That's why this is on this agenda tonight, folks. We're headed to this right now.
Yeah.
And we need to understand what we're about to do, and whatever plan we come up with, the city needs to be saying, that's what the commission has done, we've talked about this, and this is where we're headed. How you come up with that plan, because my question that brought this up is this. This says up to 3, what happened to 2 inhabitants at 4,000 gallons? I mean, if you got 3, 4, 5, and 6, what happened to 2? So 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 4 do multiply by 2 is the general amount. I'm not trying to make it difficult, but you got somebody, I don't know if we go look at the people that have one person in the house that we know throughout the city and get an average for them, or get 2, but then you still got to know, and the question is going to come into this, in my opinion, is when someone does get the big water bill, you go back and visit with them and say, okay, you have these people, here's your water bill, and here's how we build it.
You're going to get a
And I'm not talking about the fact that your 2 grandkids come. That's something you're right. We're going to get some phone calls.
A lot of them.
Yeah. We're going to put your number on it.
I mean, yes, and you're
Well,
correct.
I may be agreeing with them.
Well, I agree. Well, and seriously, if we're in if we go to stage 3 and my family comes to town, they're going to know we're in stage 3, be very conservative with the water, and I'll pay the price to have my family here, but it is going to make an impact, and somebody can have a huge, I just saw a deal on Facebook where somebody had 40 people at their house this weekend. That probably would impact their their water bill.
Well, I mean, you just look at some of these people and their water usage, and I did a quick calculation that I think it was at 30,000, and these numbers here on the right hand column there, that is in thousands of gallons. Not hundreds. That is in thousands.
I better hit my water.
I think.
Well, if y'all haven't looked at the back of the page, the second to the last page, the back of it, go to the second to the last page, the very top of the page, where it says October. Look at the water usage at that house. 183,000 gallons.
Where?
The second to the last page says October. Look at the back of October. You're in September. Look at the back of October. Turn it over, yeah.
What do you say, 183?
Gee whiz.
Oh, over here. Okay, that's what you
I mean, that's
Up in water.
okay. It says here they've got a leak. I talked to the guy. Yeah, I don't have a leak.
Yeah, he does.
I told him, I said, well, do you understand when you water at night from 2 to 4, you're using 8,000 gallons? No, I didn't. That's okay. Son, we got a problem. Now, if he doesn't want to fix that, even though he's in the water requirements, he is going to get, I believe the water bill is $1,400 last month. Mm-hmm. You think what's going to happen when he hits this one? Okay, that's it. This is what we're up against, and it's going to hit if God doesn't intervene. And I remember the last time we got this close, God intervened. We got close, and we were headed within a month, I'll bet, of stage 3, and it hit, and we got a good rain and took care of that.
This water bill will be about $30,000.
But now you all are seeing the problem and trying to do this, trying to enforce it, trying to figure out for the city to figure out. JJ's already said, and he's right. How do we know? I think you take a case by case deal. Personally, you're going to have to take them case by case. But it's going to be a full-time job for the city while we get into it, especially until we get it laid out and get people on board with what we're doing.
Because we have 1,100 residential meters, and and for the most part, most of our customers.
Oh, it's 1,700. Oh, I guess commercial and
we're about 1,100 residential meters plus our commercial meters, but and most of our customers use less than 6,000 gallons of water. But it's going to take some figuring, and it's going to be a full-time job for somebody to figure all that, and we got to figure out how to set it up in our system to build this way.
My deal says that the city manager or his designee. No, we are headed into the throat of this thing.
I just think you need to come up with some more options as far as how we should determine.
I do think it ought to say 1 inhabitant is 2,000, 2 inhabitants is 4,000. It's like you got there and you put them all down there. Now the enforcement and how you do that is probably still up to until we get into it and find out how we do it. Because getting there, And I don't think we can just take an average and apply it to everybody. I don't think that's fair. I don't think we can do that. I think it's going to be crazy. The big thing is to get people. You got that list. We're going to get that list and say, you people got to fix this deal now. This is headed down a path that we can't be going down. This list right here shouldn't exist today, and we've got to do it better. And I think, and I've told JJ this. Our notification process is hard. How do you do it? Not everybody listens to the local radio. Not everybody reads the local paper. Not everybody does. You do a mass with cost. Do a mass mailing costs $800.
And when we get to stage 3, heaven forbid we do, we will have to do a mass mail out for everybody. There's just no defense, but because there's too many consequences when it gets to this, because this stage 3 affects everybody because it's usage based, not whether you're out of compliance or not. Yes. Yes.
What do you say?
The number on the right hand side.
Yeah. But this is.
You said 4,000.
I don't know if we want to revisit this, table it for now, and revisit everybody's minds on it. Everybody knows where we're headed and what we've got. We've got a little bit of time to come up with a plan, give the city a chance to wrap their brain around how they think they can do it. It's going to take your staff, probably. Everybody knows how the system works, what you can do. But what are your thoughts, big boy?
I'm here to do whatever I'm directed to do, but I mean, my first thought is I don't like the inhabitants deal because I don't know how we police that. We have to figure out a number that once you hit your surcharges.
Can you do an average? Can the system do an average for what somebody's been doing? And we can go off of their average, and then you apply that, and that's what it comes to. In other words, if I remember the numbers in here and read this thing, there's 31% right there. Have a stage 1, whatever normal operation people are doing this, stage 1 should look just like that. There's really no difference in normal operation and stage 1. So in stage 1 or normal operation, people are using as a normal deal this amount. When we go to stage 2, we see that amount drop, and that we just make a number up, and I don't know what it would be. It's got to go down. If we apply, if you take just the raw number, water in your yard is going to go from 100% 3 days a week, going to drop down to 67%, right? To 2 days.
In stage 3?
Stage 2.
Yeah.
Stage 2. Well, you got to get stage 2 out of the way.
Well, stage 2, yeah.
Because you're going to govern stage 3 off stage 2's numbers.
Yes.
Because if we don't see a drop, and people should see a drop just from their general use in their house, but because not everybody waters the yard, they probably don't have it. We've looked at some people. We've looked at some people that I know it's a widow lady, and I was shocked. 8,000 gallons or something. I'm going.
Yes.
They cook a lot.
Is that what it is?
I don't wash a lot of clothes.
If you don't like that deal, then you're going to have to do some kind of an average plan. And 100% is this, and it goes to 67%. If you go over that 67%, this kicks in.
Can you take the high users off, and the low, the minimum off, and then look at?
Then you're punishing.
No, I'm saying to determine your average.
I don't think you can take the user average because you do the bell curve, if you will. That high user, take the guy at 189,000 gallons. Mm-hmm. He's not getting punished near as much as you are.
No, I'm saying to come up with an amount. I'm not saying for your numbers in your stage. I'm saying to come up with an average amount. Instead of looking at everybody, look at your in between billing.
Our average billing is, basically, we have a water usage report, and that's what that is in the back. This is just a water usage report, and we ran a report of our top 100 users. I mean,
But if we take,
I don't know, I'm trying to, what do you mean our average billing?
So, don't you have customers that are paying on an average billing per month?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, how do you figure that?
Well, the average billing is just what the bill is before you go over that 2,000 gallons. That's what we
It's
call
based
average
on their
billing.
usage
Yeah, it's
for
based
the
on
last
usage.
12 months.
Yeah, based on the last 12 months.
No, we
usage.
don't have
No.
people that do that.
Okay.
but you're,
I pay $100.
Yeah.
but you're,
Yeah, we do.
but, wait a minute, your average billing,
I'm on average billing, it's determined on,
you're looking at somebody that uses 48,000 gallons in a year, and their average paying 4,000 gallons a month. That's what, whether you're 2,000, 4,000, 6,000, I don't know, but the average billing is going to be done per month.
Mine's
You
almost.
take it for the year, previous 12 months, you get the total, you divide by 12, that's your
Yes.
average billing.
Yes.
And you're gonna be low some months, you're high some months, in the
Yes.
middle, you're still
It
paying
comes
some
out to
money.
the,
So you know what your average should be a month.
Right.
Yeah,
There's your curve right there. You've got that figured.
and then that's gotta be cut to 33%.
And then, yeah,
Stage 2, 33%, and
yeah.
the next stage is 67%
You're
below that.
paying that penalty fee for what gallons you go over.
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, is our system smart enough to do that?
He does average billing.
It does average billing, but I mean,
That would
but now
probably-
you're asking it to,
I think visiting with Melissa and with Leslie on this would be paramount before we try to go too much farther off. Just
Yeah.
to see
I
what
think, no, I agree,
Yeah.
I said that already, table this thing and find out what this system will do.
Well, it's-
And how you're gonna wrap your arms. I don't have a problem not doing the occupancy thing. I think you're right. I think we have people, we know what they normally use in a normal operation, phase one or normal, and go off of that. If it's either average billing or you just take the raw number and go. Even, as you talk about that, I was thinking about in the summer months, I use a whole lot more water than I do normal. And you can take it, but I don't think that on an average bill, that's still in the previous 12 months is in there, because I basically water the same thing I did prior.
But we need to see what our system can do as far as feature wise, if it can accommodate what we're asking of it. And once we can find out if that's done, then we can maybe look at different options of how to skin that cat.
right now, you're paying an average for 12 months, and you're either, some months, like I'm paying more than I normally would, and some months, I'm paying less than I normally would. And then at the end of that 12 months, Leslie can go in there and see if it needs to be recalculated.
Larry's looking.
In the summer months, I was just thinking how in a summer month, if we started this in April, we get hit with drought stage 3 in April, phase 3 in April. And now my water bill is gonna go up. Because I'm gonna be penalized. So in other words, cut the water, just don't water. That's the solution.
Yeah.
Okay, that may be the best thing to happen to it. Shut it down.
that we don't even have 1 day a week.
I just cut mine to 10.
Well, phase 3 is 1 day a week.
1 day a week.
But if I get to that point and I'm saying, this isn't gonna work, I'm fixing to go back my average bill, because I'm gonna have higher, even though my average is 50,000 gallons. Let's do 48, because 4,000, but I'm doing 5,000 in the summer months, or 6,000 in the summer months, and back down to winter, non-water time. I think an average, you can come up with that. That might be the answer. See how smart our system is. See how smart we are. If we find out how smart the system is, I don't know. Maybe. Y'all do something now. It'll do something now.
Yes.
Now you can now apply this.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
We will come back with
Okay.
more.
Hold on. I have one more thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is simple. I just want to say this when I got the police chief here. You got his attention, didn't it? The City of Eastland's enforcement on page 18 under C. The City of Eastland will enforce provisions of the plan via adoption of an ordinance containing a surcharge, fine, and/or other penalty schedule. The Eastland Police Department will issue citations as appropriate. Are you aware of that?
No, sir, it was not.
Okay. Well, that's why I highlighted that. I knew you'd be here, and I thought, you might want to see this. Okay? And that's fine. That's probably the vehicle that needs to happen. But that,
Yes, sir.
okay, we're good
My
with that.
wife a ticket.
Well, I mean, because I think, while I don't want to be punitive about anything, if we have we have some customers, I know we've got some customers with a little bit of kickback, and people say, well, I'm not going to do it. They just don't, even though once we talk to them, they just don't do it. I think it'd be, when a police officer showed up with a citation in their hand, they're going to know we're serious. And that gets handled at the commission, at the municipal court.
$500
I just want that, make sure that we're aware of that. So, we're going to table this. Everybody good with that?
You sure you want this job?
Table 5, do we need a motion to table that? We just table it.
You don't, I mean, there's no action to be taken. You just
No
let it
action
die.
taken. We're gonna, now, I'm assuming we can stay out of stage 3 before our next regular meeting.
We better hope so.
Okay, well,
Because if the way it's trending, yeah, we should be. Yeah.
just, if you see we're headed to stage 3 before our next meeting,
You call.
Yeah, I mean,
you will call a meeting.
Yeah.
what did you say? 65 is where we're at today.
We're right now, it's on the front of that, 1365.16.
And
We actually went up 100 from yesterday, got a little bit of rain, we had, the lake went up itty bitty bit. Now, if it stayed right there at that level, I'd be happy with that. It was 1365.16 2 days ago, went down to 15 yesterday and back up to 16 today.
11-inch rain.
If we lose 2 feet in a month, then we're in
Whoa,
huge.
we failed at getting the plan. And I'm assuming Ranger and other people are under the same exact.
Yes, sir. They our plan almost mimics the water districts, except for when it comes to the watering and the surcharges and stuff like that. And Rangers almost mimics too. That was kind of the deal when the water district was formed, that when it came to drought contingency plans, that we would follow theirs because they're the ultimate authority when it comes to our water, and they have the big valve on it.
Okay, Eastland is a good citizen and we do our job and we keep our water level down to what they say it is. Ranger does not be able to do it. They will get fined separate from us.
Yes, and I mean that's a whole different deal because we're in stage 2. We get fined if we go over our allotment of water at this point, and the city of Ranger does the same. It's 50-50 when it comes to that. I mean, it doesn't matter if we stay where we're supposed to be, then we don't get fined from the district. If Ranger goes over, or vice versa, they get hit with a fine. Not a fine, a surcharge. Excuse me.
Okay. Anything else on that? City manager briefing.
Okay, I'm going to start off with, everybody saw this memo in the front of their packet from Ms. Hayden. I asked her because, with the passing of Cecil, we have an open seat, and our charter does not allow us to appoint somebody. Why do we have to wait until May to have an election? And she just kind of laid it out for us. I mean, very few exceptions where you can have a uncalled special election. But I mean, if you have any questions over that, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Well, I would like to ask the commissioners if they would like to review our current policy and put in our policy where we can appoint if this were to happen again. And appoint that and fill that seat and not be down to 4 commissioners and not be in that position. That's something we can do, but we've got to change our charter. JJ is following up on that, but if y'all don't want to do that, then you know they're going to do any more legwork if we want to do it. I think we ought to do it so that we can if we get in that situation. Right now, I'm not going to put anybody under the spotlight here, but the average age of this commission is
73.
70 what?
3.
That's not you included, is it? Okay.
I'm on board commission.
Thank you, James. I'm glad you're on
I took that average down.
Well, I mean, that's when
I'm the
Cecil,
old
when you
man.
put Cecil's average on there and his age, it goes up even more. But I mean, that's what you know, we had last month, you weren't here, Cecil was obviously not here, there's only 3 of us, there could be anything can happen to any of us at any time, and I just think having an open seat,
Yeah.
you know, and as I've said, if we get in a situation where a regular meeting, we're not gonna all be here, then we'll just have the called meetings whenever we need to get everybody here and get everybody on the same schedule. We will get through this and it'll be fine, but I think we ought to update our charter if we can without disrupting anything else and fix that charter.
I think you're
The
right.
only way we can do that is for it to be put
It has to be put for a vote.
on the ballot.
And we're gonna have an election this year because we know in May we gotta fill his seat.
You will have to have an election, and I have some legal questions about changing our charter and
You
stuff
and I
like
will
that.
be either elected or I'll run or
Well,
won't
you and
run.
I'll be running for 2 years, that seat will be running for 1 year.
Yeah.
And if you do elections, you've gotta pay for them anyway, so this will be the time we're gonna do it right now and get ready to do that in May, if we wanna do that. Now, do y'all wanna carry forward with that, and we'll do it. If you've got some opposition to that, then we need to make that known, but I think we need to do it and move forward, so.
Yeah, I just did.
I think if we do it, we need to review the charter and see if there's anything else that we
You
want
do
to
it at one
address
time.
at the same time.
You're right. And you know what the bodies are buried.
Okay, everybody got that, it was interesting. What else, sir?
GLO, November 30th, we will have our first bid opening on channel clearing of the North Fork part of it. We've had, at this point, had to break it into 2 different parts for many different reasons, but we've got that out for bids right now. We did have a pre-bid meeting last Thursday. 6 different contractors were here to look at that. So it was a really good meeting. We took them out and showed them everything that they were in for in clearing the proposed sites, which includes Ringling Dam and Lake Eastland Dam, and they're pretty grown up. Street design's almost through. We had after we met with the contractors, the engineer and I met about just where he was at. He's pretty much got them all drawn, and he just had a quick couple of clarifications. Home buyout still going on. There's some behind the scenes stuff that we hatched out on Friday. And answer your question, we have about a year to finish all this. So, but that's where we're at right now. With that, we are moving forward at this point. We're hoping that the streets are going to go out for bid in January and all that.
What is the year, the time frame, get all the bids laid out? They don't have to be complete, but you gotta get everything.
We're clarifying that.
Starting work on all that.
Right now, we are shooting for everything to be done in a year.
All the street work?
Yes.
Since I'm kind of behind on what's going on, when you say streets, what are you looking at having done?
There's part of this flood mitigation grant. They are not streets. They are water flumes that we're designing that we've made out of concrete over our street base right now, and they're going to be constructed to help carry the water faster out of the city limits.
It'd be down.
Yeah.
Like a channel to move the water.
Okay.
Instead of up,
Yeah.
down to move the water.
The streets
So
are.
it's not the actual street then we're talking about it.
There are certain streets, there are many streets on this list, all in the flooding area, not all over town, the flooding area here.
Yeah.
And depending on how much money we have, we've got to decide what streets we'll do.
Yes.
And we've got to prioritize those streets right now. I don't know if we've got to do that, but if we do, then we're going to have a meeting and tell him what streets we want done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These flumes will be right where the streets are now, and they will be made out of concrete.
The water doesn't tear them up, and it'll be nice. We can get it done.
Yes.
In a year.
Just curious.
As you see out there at 20 and Main Street, construction's begun on the installation of lights. They have it kind of ripped up where they are extending that turn lane basically to go all the way around onto the old Bankhead Highway. Don't know how long it's going to take to complete it, but I'm just glad to see it's moving forward. Airport, it's done. Grass is growing out there. We did pour the concrete for the fuel farm to be moved. Waiting on to get another bid from Bodie so we can look at the electrical work that's going to need to be done and then figure out exactly how we're going to move the tanks themselves. A couple of things that didn't get on there. On Monday the 27th, we will, that evening, we will start the process of updating our encode system. So on the 28th, we will have some interruptions. They're telling us to customer service we won't be able to take credit cards or anything online during those time periods. So we're working to get a message out right now. They just told us that. So, but we're upgrading that system, and this is going to take a little getting used to.
It's going to be interrupted on Monday or Tuesday or both?
Possibly late Monday afternoon. It depends on what time they start, and they're telling us probably till at least noon on Tuesday, the 28th, that we will have some interruption in service. So we're just hoping that it'll go well. Any other questions?
You said there were two things. You only said one. There were two things.
All right, hit the. Already got that one.
You got
that first, yeah.
All right, good, thank you. Code enforcement. Anything else for JJ? Code enforcement.
Commissioners, Terry opened October with 85 cases. He opened 16 new cases, closed 26, left him with 75 cases open at the end of the month. New violations opened. Out of those 16 cases, there's 27 different violations. Out of the 26 closed, there's 44 violations. Had 2 junk vehicles, issued 4 citations, had 3 annual notices. Fines assessed for October, $3,184. We had $3,696 in fines that were dismissed. What this is a renter that had got into a house, and the owners had to have them removed. This person had rung up quite a bit of trash litter, debris, citations. Terry was really having to work them, and since they never did open a water account with us, so we didn't know who the actual occupant was officially. So we had to go against the owners, and since the owners finally got this person kicked out, they were able to clean up the property themselves, and they got everything taken care of. And so Terry decided to go ahead and remove the citations because it wasn't. They didn't know they were going to get a trash heap moving in there. So, and the tenants moved to a new location, but we were watching that location very closely, and they do have a water account at this location. So.
Okay, so it says there total fine paid / SVD.
Serve. If they serve jail time.
And then dismissed, is that other one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So that, like, if we would have had anything in the cells above it, the total fines would have been higher.
Right. I just want to know what that.
Okay. You filed 2 liens for a total of $349.88. You can see the citations were issued. These are frequent flyers of ours that we're building up citations and warrants. I believe we have warrants on
one of them.
One individual that's already going out. The other one is a very elderly man that the citations are building, and we're checking with Eileen about another way of taking care of this problem legally. And that's it as far as for code compliance for development and stuff here. We've got the old hefts, the people in there have pulled permits for their signs. They plan on being open within next couple of weeks. They're hoping beginning of December, if not, very shortly thereafter. I know a lot of rumors going around that it was going to be a Rosa's Cantina serving Mexican food. That is not what they're doing. They swore me to secrecy. It's going to be a nice surprise for Eastland. It's something that we don't have here already. So I think everybody will be happy with it. When you see the sign, you'll probably get it. Yeah. And then we, for P&Z, we elected officers this last meeting, last Monday. Officers are Vicki Armstrong as the chairperson, Bill Culverhouse as vice chair, and Jill Warren as secretary. And we welcomed Rebecca Massengill officially to P&Z board. She was fine. Her job has kept her away the last couple of months, so we were able to get her in and welcome her this time.
What's the tea place next to Sonic? What's the status of that?
As far as we know, they are still planning on moving in. They have come and they've sent a full set of plans that have been done, and it's not cheap for the plans that they've had prepared. They just roll at their own pace. The one in Mineral Wells took forever for them to finally get it open. It was like a year and a quarter, where they went from breaking ground to when it was finally open.
And I've seen the past few days, I've seen people there with a trailer out front loading,
Moving stuff in and out. So, I mean, the development is happening there. This is not like Harbor Freight fiasco, but this one is, there's actual work being done. It's not to the point to where I've been called for any type of inspection, and we're just letting them do what they got to do.
You need the idea on the pizza place?
Yes, Rip's Pizzeria coming soon is they are working in there. I went in there to look at some plumbing. They're having to change up the bathroom some to allow for an ADA spot. They're going to be 2 one-holders. One is going to be ADA, the other one's going to be just normal. They are adding a drive-through and expanding the kitchen area some. So they've pulled permits for that. That area where they're doing the development is just outside of the flood zone. So we're excited to see growth there, and they're still going along.
Good. Very good.
When is the Wheat and Rye going to open? I mean, I know that they're already ready, aren't they?
Which one is this?
over on the square.
What is it, Wheat and Rye?
Yeah, I believe that she is finishing up for, was it her license through TABC?
Well, her TABC stuff is not going to take place until next year in January. She's going to be open temporarily doing catering and BYOB for anyone. It's real nice in there. I got a tour Friday evening. I
saw the pictures.
they were serving soup and bread samples at intermission for the Lyric Productions Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I got to sample some of that while I was there. It's soup, salad, sandwiches, artisan bread, some coffees and stuff like that. You should be able to go by there and buy a loaf of bread if you want to buy a loaf of bread, whatever. So.
Now, they're supposed to open December 2nd.
Is that what?
That's what they told me that.
Okay, December 2nd.
Grandkid get hurt.
With the parade, they're trying to get started out with the parade.
And the other good thing that we have is we have businesses moving into existing buildings like B&B Services are over here at the, used to be Coates Furniture. It was the All-Star Apparel also. So they're moving in there. It's appliance repair and sales. Joe, and he may be talking about this soon, he's done some COs.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, he's done some COs for businesses that are finally up and running. I think he knocked out 3 or 4 this last month. Mm-hmm. And so we're just seeing, people coming in and occupying empty buildings, and then we have, we're waiting for the next big thing, whatever that be, come our way. So anyway, that's all we've got.
Anything else for Tony? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Police Department.
Yes, sir. In October, we had 250 calls for service. This typo was my mistake, but we had 53 offense incident reports taken in October. Then we had 641 business checks that were completed. 13 people were arrested. 15 cases were filed with the district attorney's office and 1 with juvenile probation. We issued 154 citations, 206 warnings for 360 traffic contacts in October. Animal control, we issued 5 citations, 2 warnings. She answered 101 calls for service. 13 dogs were impounded, 9 were adopted out, 0 quarantines. In October, we completed our alert training, which is the active shooter training for the entire department. We did this in Breckenridge with the help of DPS, and every one of our officers are through it now. It's state mandated every 2 years. Most of them have had it, but now every 2 years we're going to be doing that, and I've got an instructor fixing to have an instructor in that where we can do it in-house also and teach it. We had Boo in the Garden, which went off successfully. We had quite a few kids. I don't know the exact number, but I know we like 800 and something different bags we put together, and we gave every one of them out. We had one vehicle pursuit, which ended in nobody getting hurt or nothing damaged. During Boo in the Garden, we had a couple show up that we had active warrants on, that we had taken their children away from them, or CPS had earlier in the month. Why they showed up there, I have no idea, but they both had warrants. Officers went out to arrest them. They took off running. Officers apprehended them. They ended up getting charged with manufacturing, delivery, and assault on a peace officer in a drug-free zone because we had all the kids there. October, pretty good month for us.
Oh, bad.
Yeah. Well, you look at that one. Yeah. Anything else for Chief Pitt?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Chief Williamson.
All right. Good evening. Total call volume for October was 69. Calls for service. We're averaging, starting out the new statistics for the fiscal year. That puts us 2.2 calls a day, and all the statistics seem to be very stable. Nothing's really stood out. Everything's running as it has the last fiscal year, with 54 incidents occurring in the city, 14 in the county, and 1 mutual aid incident. We installed 4 smoke detectors, and that was due to Fire Prevention Month. So we had a lot of contacts with the public. We were able to get out and try to get some smoke detectors put up. We had 13 calls after 10 o'clock at night and before 7 in the morning. We attended 2 structure fires, 1 grass fire, there's no vehicle fires, 33 incidents. We assisted the EMS service on medical type emergencies. We had 13 motor vehicle accidents, 8 public assists, 11 calls for some type of false alarm or an investigation. And we had 1 hazmat incident. That's the statistics just for that month. Our fire prevention was in October. We had a very busy month. We did the fire prevention at the school, and we also do it at the pre-K at Sundance and the Mulberry schools. And so that was a lot of opportunity for the interaction with the kids and to share that message. Then we had our open house, and then I believe the first week was the parade, the old RIP parade. So we attended that. Then the next weekend we held our open house. Fire prevention was implemented there. We had a very good turnout and good public interaction there. And then at the end of the month we had Halloween. We didn't do the Boo in the Park. We just stayed on location at the fire station. And we had the EMS crew came down, made an appearance with us, and we had a lot of good interaction with the public and the kids on that. So that those events occur. We're making those annual events. Of course, the parade and other things are not in our control, but the open house, this was our 3rd annual, and the way we do. But a lot of time and effort goes into these. This program, this fire prevention program. And I'd just like to take a minute to mention Rick Wendy, 46-year member, active member with the volunteers, and he's our fire prevention officer and also our safety chief. Holds that title also, but he is the fire prevention. Now, he has a good team. A lot of the members of the department, everyone has some type of input and effort that goes into the success of the program, but he is the program, and he does a fantastic job each and every year. This year, he and his team added the component with the house with the burning windows where the kids spray the water in. That's kind of a new feature that we added in, and kind of trying to maintain that interest and break up that mundane. But Rick Wendy attended a structure fire, a working fire this morning in Ranger. We went over there, and Rick was there. Each matter of fact, for the total, we do a total from October 1st to September 31st. Rick attended 245 calls this year.
Wow.
As a 46-year member. Very active member and a huge asset into the department and the community. But I did want to mention him outright on this fire prevention program. He puts in a lot of time and effort. It's very successful. If you look at some of our other statistics that don't all get finite in here, I think fire prevention is very successful in the city of Eastland.
I think y'all doing great.
He's a good guy, yeah, he is.
All of y'all are doing a fabulous job.
Yes.
Anything else for Chief Williamson? Thank you, all of you. Appreciate it.
I move we adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn from Richard.
Second.
A second from James. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All of y'all have a great Thanksgiving and be safe.
Yes, sir.